Okay, we're going to go take a look at multiplying polynomials. All right, so it's rather simple. What you're going to do is draw a box by the number of terms you have. So this is one, and this is another one. So you need a 1 by 1 box. So you draw a 1 by 1 box. You put this one on the height. So that's negative 9b to the 4th power. You put that one as the length. So that's 8b squared. And all you do is multiply. So in order for you not to get mixed up, we're going to do this step by step. We're going to multiply signs by signs first. So just a quick reminder, a negative times a positive, is that good or bad? It is bad, so that's going to give you a negative. Positive times a negative, any black eyes? Yes, so that's bad. That's going to give you a negative. A negative and a negative times a negative, that's good because it's a regular eyes. That's going to give you a positive. So just to kind of give you a quick review. So here I have a negative times a positive. So you're going to get what? A negative and a positive are going to give you a negative. Okay, then you do the numbers only. 9 times 8. And remember, if you don't know how you do your nines, you put on your hands and you count to 9. 1, 2, 3. 9 times 8. So you count to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You put your 8th finger down. And then you look on the left, how many on the left, how many fingers on the left? 7. And how many on the right? 2. So 72. And then you do your variables. Now, just a quick reminder, what is this? B to the 4th power means B times B times B times B. B to the 2nd power means B times B. So if I want you to say B to the 4th power times B to the 2nd power, that's going to be the 4 B's here. 1, 2, 3, 4 times the 2 B's here. And you can see they're all multiplication. So I can rewrite this as what? B to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 power. So when you're multiplying variables, you really just add the exponents. All right, so that's going to be 72b to the 6th power. And there's nothing to combine because there's only one box. So that's what you're going to put in your answer as negative 72 b to the 6th power. Okay, that's all there is to it. So again, how many terms are out here? Just one. So one out there. Then how many terms here? 1, 2, 3. So then I need 3 spaces. On the top, I'm going to put this whole thing. So on the height, it's negative 2, what's outside. And then on the top, it's all of this. And again, you multiply one thing at a time. So we're going to do the signs, all my signs first so I don't get mistaken. So a negative times a negative will give me a positive. A negative and a negative will give me a positive. A negative and a positive will give me a negative. Then I'm going to do my numbers. So 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. Then I'm going to do my variables. No variables times a squared. That's just going to be a squared. No variables times a. Just going to be a. No variables times no variables. Nothing. And that's my answer. Now I just look at my box to make sure there's nothing to combine because this is 2, this is 1, and this is nothing. No variable is what I mean. So then you're going to put that in. So 6a raised to the 2nd power plus 6a minus 8. All right. Now how many are there? There's 2 by 2. So 2 boxes by 2 boxes. This goes on my height, so 4y plus 3. This goes on my length, so 4y minus 3. All right, now we're going to multiply. Again, I'm going to do all the signs first. So positive with a positive is a positive. Positive with a negative is a negative. A positive with a positive is a positive. Positive with a negative is a negative. Then I'll come around and do my numbers. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 3 is 9. Then I'm going to come around one more time and do my variables. Y times y is y2, y squared. Y times no variable is just y. no variable times y is just y. No variable with no variable is no variable at all. Now I'm going to look for my boxes as to what to combine. Usually they're on the diagonals, especially if I set this up right. So you can see this is a y1 and a y1. Here's y2, nothing to combine, and here's a 9. So this one's going to be 16y squared, and then I'm going to combine these two. And what I mean by that is going to add or subtract. So I've got positive t meeting negative t. What are they going to do? They're going to fight and die. And then who's going to win? No one, because they have the same amount of people. So that just cancels out. And then this has nothing to combine with. So the answer is that. So 16y raised to the second power. Oh, that's not what I wrote. Raised to the second power minus 9. All right. What does this mean? This means the same thing twice. So what do? You write it out twice. So I'll just write out, so sensitive, 2h plus 2 twice, 2h plus 2, because that's what that means, 2 of this thing. So once you write it out, again, what do I need? A 2 by 2 box. So I'm going to do a 2 by 2 box. Over here, 2h plus 2. Over here, 2h plus 2. And then go ahead and do all the signs. Now, can I just say that since all of them are positive, when I multiply positive and a positive, I'm just going to get positives everywhere, so I don't need to do that. So let me do the numbers. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Now the variables, all right, h times h is h squared. H times nothing times no variable is h. Nothing, no variable times h is h. No variable times no variable is no variable. Then look for my combined terms, so the ones that look alike. So you see that h and h, they're usually going to be diagonals unless they skipped a variable, so always just double check. So on this one, I'm going to have 4h squared because nothing with squared. And then h's go together. So I have positive meeting positive. What's going to happen? They're going to join and grow, become more positives. So 8h. And then the 4 has nothing else to combine with. So 4h squared plus 8h plus 4. Okay. And so you're going to do that over and over again. I'm going to get into some of the questions that you're going to get at 90 that you're going to need to do. So I need to go ahead and do that. All right, this is finding the area. And the area is just whatever the formula is for the shape. For example, this is a triangle. So the area of that triangle is a half times the base, which is x plus 8, times the height, which is 2x minus 2. That's a half base times height. And now this is what you're multiplying. So I'll go ahead and multiply these two out and then come and multiply by half. Okay, so again, I need a 2 by 2 box. So a 2 by 2 box. So x plus 8. And over here, 2x minus 2. All right, let me do my signs. Positive and positive is a positive. Positive and negative is a negative. Positive and positive is a positive. Positive and negative is a negative. Let me do my numbers. Is invisible what here? 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 2 is 16. Now do my variables. X times x is x squared. X times no variable is x. No variable times x is x. No variable times no variable is no variable. Combine like my like terms, the ones that look alike. So you see my x's diagonally. And so that's going to be 2x squared. And I got positive meeting negatives. What's going to happen? They're going to fight. And what's going to happen when they fight? They're going to die. Who's going to win? Positives are going to win by, they lose 2 people. So what's that? 14. And then this is by itself. Okay. Now remember, this times this is this. Now I have to multiply everything there by a half. Now, when you multiply by a half, it's the same as dividing by 2. So you can multiply each individual thing by a half. So a half times 2 is going to give you 1. A half times 2 is going to give you 7. A half times 2 is going to give you 8. Or you could just divide every single thing by 2. So this is going to give you, this is going to be 1. This is going to be 7. This is going to be 8, and this is going to be 1. So I have 1x squared, and don't worry about putting the 1, plus 7x minus 8. So perfect. All right. So you always start off with what's the formula? The formula of a rectangle is base times height. So base times height. So I need to find out what the base is. So the base is 3x. The height is 3x plus 4. And then it becomes what we've been working on previously, right? So it's just like this box, for example. Okay. So I need a 1 by 2 box. So I have 3x here, and here I have 3x plus 4. All right, do my signs. Positive, positive is a positive. Positive, positive is a positive. Do my numbers. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. And then do my variable. X times x is x squared. And then x times no variable is just x. Is anything combined? No. So that answer is 9x squared plus 12x. And that's all I had to do. So 9x squared plus 12x. Great job. I have a triangle again. All right, so you write down, so you start by writing down the formula for a triangle. So the area for the formula of a triangle is a half times the base times the height. So then you're going to go a half times the base. The base is the bottom, so that's what, 3x times the height, and the height is how tall it is from the bottom to the top of its head. So that's 2x. All right, so we're going to multiply these two. So I need a 1 by 1 box. And so I don't forget this half. I'm going to put a half here times whatever I get my answer to be. So this one here is 3x. This one here is 2x. Start with my signs. Positive and positive gives me a positive. Then my numbers. 3 times 2 gives me 6. Then my variables. X times x gives me x squared. It's nothing combined, so that's all there is there. So that's going to be 6x squared. And remember, multiplying by half is like dividing everything by 2. Okay, so that's going to give me what is 3, and that's going to be 1. So 3 over 1, oh yeah, 3 over 1 is just going to be 3, so that's going to be 3x squared. Boom, boom. All right, let's do one more. This is what parallelogram. All right, the area of a parallelogram is still base times height. So the base is 8 and the height is x plus 1. So base, so you start off writing the formula, base times height. The base is 8 and the height was x plus 1. And again, you need a 1 by 2 box. So 1 by 2. Here is going to be your height, so that's your 8. And this is going to be your length, so that's x plus 1. All right, start with the signs. A positive is a positive. A positive is a positive. And then you have numbers next. 8 times what number goes here? Invisible 1. So 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 1 is also 8. Then do the variables. No variable times x is x. No variable, and no variable is no variable. So your answer is 8x plus 8, because I only had to do base times of height. So 8x plus 8. All right, and so forth. I'm sure those are enough examples.